This is the WJTS News. In tonight's news, we'll have the latest filings for political offices around the area. State Senator Mark Messmer talks about Senate Bill 221 addressing opioid abuse. And we'll travel to Lagodi for Monday with the Mayor, Noel Hardy. In sports, Kurt Guxell takes a look at this past weekend's sports action. And on WJTS Inform, Jan Dugan has good advice concerning the use of water bottles. Good evening, I'm Bill Potter with the WJTS News. The Jasper Police Department is requesting the public's assistance in identifying the driver of a vehicle that left the scene of an accident at 8th and Jackson Streets that occurred last Friday. The suspect vehicle struck a gray 2011 Toyota 4Runner parked on the west side of Jackson Street sometime between 7:15 a.m. and 4:10 p.m. Friday, January 26th. If anyone witnessed the accident or can identify the driver, please contact the police department at 812-482-2255, 482-2255, or anonymously at 481-COPS, 812-481-COPS. No charges were filed in a two-vehicle accident after icy road conditions were believed to have been the contributing factor. However, the Sunday morning accident in Huntingburg did see both drivers receive minor injuries. Sunday morning, just after 8:30 a.m., Huntingburg police say 63-year-old Mike Braun of Jasper was westbound on 6th Street when he lost control of his midsize pickup on the icy roadway and crossed into the path of a vehicle driven by 62-year-old Norma Covey of Huntingburg. Brown's pickup skidded south while Covey's vehicle skidded north. Both vehicles partially blocked lanes of 6th Street. Braun suffered a laceration to the head, while Covey complained of pain to the lower leg. $15,000 total damage was reported to both vehicles. Huntingburg police were assisted at the scene by the Huntingburg Volunteer Fire Department and Memorial Hospital Emergency Medical Services. A Jasper woman was arrested early Sunday morning for an OWI after police clocked her vehicle traveling over 55 miles per hour along Meridian Road near 15th Street. Just before 4 a.m. Sunday morning, 29-year-old Leslie Libring of Jasper was arrested when police stopped her to conduct a traffic stop after witnessing her 2014 Buick traveling 56 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour speed zone north on Meridian Road near 15th Street. Libring was administered a certified chemical test which found that her BAC tested at 0.093, that is. In Indiana, 0.08 is the limit. She was then transported to the Dubois County Security Center and booked for operating a vehicle while intoxicated. The election for Dubois County Sheriff will see candidate Tim Lampert take his place in the running as he announced this past weekend his intention of running on the Democratic ticket in the November 2018 election. 48-year-old Lampert, who currently serves as Chief Deputy for the Dubois County Sheriff's Department, is also a 27-year veteran of the county's Sheriff's Department and began his career when he was hired in 1990 as a jail officer. Lampert was promoted to Road Deputy in 1994 and in 2011 was appointed Chief Deputy. As Chief Deputy, Lampert has successfully obtained thousands of dollars from grants to provide equipment and extra manpower hours to assist officers in removing drunk drivers and drugs from the streets, an effort that increases community safety. In a release, Lampert says as sheriff, he will continue to pursue grants to bring state and federal money to the county to save local taxpayer money and to provide additional equipment for officers to be able to do their job safely and effectively. Lampert says approximately 45% of the jail population is incarcerated for drug and alcohol offenses. He intends to pursue grant money to combat the drug addiction issues that Dubois County is facing. Lampert is involved in several community organizations and groups and is a member of St. Mary's Church in Ireland. Tim and his wife, the former Jennifer Schwank of Ireland, are the parents of 3 children and can be reached at tdlampert@yahoo.com with any questions or concerns. And it's officially a race as another Rockport police officer has entered the election for Spencer County Sheriff. 46-year-old Dale Meredith has announced that he would join the race for Spencer County Sheriff. Meredith will be up against Kermit Lindsay, who is also running to replace retiring Spencer County Sheriff Jim McDermott. Meredith began his career with the Marine Corps, serving 4 years before joining the National Guard. He joined the Rockport Police Department in 2004 and served as the chief of the Rockport Police Department for 6 years. Meredith said that if elected, he would prioritize promoting greater cooperation between county agencies, and he noted he makes a point to keep himself personally available to local residents and hopes to continue that habit if chosen as sheriff. Indiana State Senate District 47 will see Nick Seiler as a candidate as he has filed his candidacy for the Democratic nomination. Seiler, an attorney with a private practice in West Baden Springs, graduated from the University of Dayton in 2002 and received his law degree from the University of Louisville in 2005. Since 2005, the Leavenworth resident has been in private practice and also previously served as counsel for the Indiana Department of Child Services and has represented the department in all counties of the 47th Senate District. Seiler says he is running to support public education, public safety, public infrastructure, and public health. He says these are the core functions of state government and says we are lagging behind. He says he wants to represent Southern Indiana to Indianapolis, not represent Indianapolis to Southern Indiana. Additionally, Seiler says his experience as a public defender has given him insight into the drug and mental health issues in this region. Seiler is a member of St. Joseph Catholic Church in Marengo. Seiler and his wife Emily have been married for more than 10 years. They have a 4-year-old son and are awaiting the arrival of another boy. The nation is in the midst of an opioid abuse epidemic, and it's currently at an all-time high. State legislatures are taking action as these lethal substances are destroying lives and beginning to impact future generations. Latest reports show in the United States there is a baby born who suffers from opioid withdrawal every 25 minutes. In Indiana alone, there were 488 opioid-related deaths in 2016, which is an almost 2,000% increase in the last 18 years. In order to combat this growing problem, the Indiana Senate recently passed Senate Bill 221. District 48 State Senator Mark Messmer of Jasper says the bill would continue to track legally obtained prescription opioids using INSPECT, the Indiana Prescription Drug Monitoring Program. And beginning June 1st, 2021, Messmer says would require all practitioners to check INSPECT before prescribing an opioid to a patient.
Senate Bill 221 would help prescribers know if a patient already has an opioid prescription from another provider or if a patient has a history of excessive opioid use, preventing these potentially harmful substances from getting into the wrong hands. The integration of INSPECT into electronic health records will allow prescribers to check INSPECT with a single click once they've pulled up a patient's health record.
Messmer says that his bill would allow doctors without access to the internet to apply for a waiver from this requirement, which will reduce the burden on rural health care providers and give them adequate time and resources to comply with the INSPECT program.
This bill is just one way lawmakers are attacking the drug abuse problem plaguing our state. With a multifaceted approach, hopefully we can stop this epidemic and help those who have become addicted.
As always, feel free to contact Messmer's office directly with your questions and concerns by email at senator.messmer@iga.in.gov or by phone at 800-382-9467. 800-382-9467. Wildlife officials have confirmed the presence of an avian cholera in geese from western Gibson County. Diagnostic testing has been concluded at the U.S. Geological Survey's National Wildlife Health Center. Avian cholera is common among North American waterfowl, although the Gibson County detection is the first time the disease has been documented in wild birds in Indiana. In total, about 350 birds, mostly snow geese, have been found dead since the beginning of December. The DNR states that tens of thousands of waterfowl spend winter in this part of the state, so the incidence of disease appears to be low. Avian cholera poses minimal risk to humans or the commercial poultry industry, but it is highly contagious among wild birds, especially waterfowl. Its cause is unrelated to avian influenza. The DNR, together with federal and private partners, has increased surveillance of the waterfowl populations throughout the state and are carefully removing and disposing of carcasses to decrease the risk of transmission to other birds. Avian cholera spreads through bird-to-bird contact, ingestion of food and water containing the infectious bacterium, and scavenging of infected carcasses. To help prevent the spread of avian cholera, waterfowl hunters in southwest Indiana should consider cleaning and disinfecting their gear, including waders and decoys, using warm, soapy water. Waterfowl hunters should also use gloves when cleaning birds, avoid eating, drinking, or smoking during cleaning, and thoroughly wash their hands afterwards. Animals known to or suspected to be ill should not be consumed. Duck season in southern Indiana ended on January 21st, but goose season runs through February 11th. A 160-year-old mural of the Wabash River front of historic Vincennes has been moved to a new home in the Knox County Public Library. The mural, that's more than 10 feet wide, was recently given to the library by Vincennes University. The university's Shake Learning Resources Center is undergoing a major renovation, and items from its Byron R. Lewis Historical Library are being sent to other local collections. Nearly 4,000 homes and businesses lost electricity in Terre Haute after the implosion of a 500-foot smokestack damaged equipment at a closed Duke Energy power plant. Explosive blasts brought down the tower at the Wabash Valley Generating Station on Saturday morning. Duke Energy District Manager Rick Berger says mud and debris from the collapsing tower was thrown onto a relay control building. He says that power had to be turned off to make repairs. The power outage hit Duke customers across the city's north side. Duke says the smokestack implosion is part of its ongoing demolition of the coal-burning power plant it shut down in 2016. State health officials say the number of flu-related deaths in Indiana this season jumped to 107 last week, up from 79 the previous week. The Indiana State Department of Health said Friday in its weekly influenza report for the period ending January 20th that 83 of the deaths have occurred among people aged 65 or older, and 15 have been in the 50 to 64 age group. 7 deaths have occurred in the 25-49 age group and 2 in the 5 to 24-year-old age group. Flu activity remains widespread across Indiana. The weekly report lists counties with 5 or more flu deaths. Federal officials are looking to establish 2 new Veteran Affairs outpatient clinics in Indiana. U.S. Senator Joe Donnelly says the Department of Veterans Affairs is looking to lease sites for the clinics in Terre Haute and on the west side of Indianapolis. Donnelly says the new clinics aim to bring health care closer to more military veterans living in Indiana. The VA's lease notices say it's planning to open the Terre Haute Clinic in late 2021 and the Indianapolis Clinic in mid-2022. A survey found many veterans in western Indiana weren't obtaining medical services to which they were entitled. Now, please stay tuned. Monday with the Mayor, featuring Lagodi Mayor Noel Hardy. Weather and sports are still to come on 18 WJTS.